Hi everyone, and today I'll be talking to you about communication. There are two types of communication, oral and nonverbal communication in a cross-cultural environment. Oral versus nonverbal communication. What is the difference? Oral communication is verbally transmitted from one person to another individual or to a group. And oral communication includes face-to-face communication, telephone communication, written communication, and email communication. Nonverbal communication is non-word communication such as gestures, body language, tone of voice, touch, eye contact. It's very different. Oral communication can be transmitted through face-to-face communication, telephone communication, and email communication. In oral communication, everything is said is truthful and is facts. There is no hidden meaning, and it's not hard to translate what you're trying to say. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication includes gestures, body language, eye contact, facial expression, interpersonal space, and eye contact. Different cultures have different ways of life, including greetings. As you can see in this picture, this Asian man is greeting with a bow, and this woman is greeting with a handshake. As you can see, they come from two different cultures. High context and low context cultures. High context cultures communicate in ways that are implicit and rely heavily on context. So they're very nonverbal communicators. Low context cultures communicate information in a direct manner that relies mainly on words. So they use a lot of oral communication. High context cultures. Those are cultures in which rules of communication are primarily transmitted through the use of contextual elements such as body language, tone of voice, facial expressions, and are not explicitly stated. There is kind of a hidden meaning. You have to figure out what they're feeling. In high context cultures, they transmit information through nonverbal communication. Characteristics of this include comfortable standing close to one another. Nonverbal communication is more important than the actual words, which is not really something you see in business a lot, but in the United States business, as I would say. But in other cultures, such as this picture, as you can see, they're very close. They trust one another. They like working together, and they prefer to work in groups. Countries like that include Japan and other Asian countries like China, Brazil, and other South American countries such as Mexico. And South Africa is very big. There's a lot of tribes in Africa, and being very close-knit is very important in business. Next up, we have low context cultures. Low context cultures communicate information that is direct, explicit, and precise ways. They like things done in a certain order. They like things done with no hidden meaning. They want to know the facts and what's the truth. There's an emphasis on non-logic and facts. Facts are more important than the nonverbal communication, because if those words are explicit and precise in the facts, that's all they need. Characteristics of this is that they're focused on the individual. A lot of people work individually. They communicate individually, not really as a group. And in the U.S., we're actually a low context culture. So you can see that everybody has their own offices. Everybody goes to lunch by themselves. They also favor written communication. So with new technology such as email and text message, you don't have to pick up and call somebody. It is another form of oral communication, and having that non-face-to-face contact is okay with them. And they focus on basic communication. They focus on the facts. They don't need to know anything else. They don't want to know any personal facts. They just want to get their business done. Low context cultures are the U.S., like I said. We're very big low context culture. If you work in an office, you may have your own office. You do work by yourselves. You don't really do a lot of group work. Another country is Germany. They're kind of second in line behind the United States. They're very all about business, get business done. And also Sweden and its neighboring country, Norway. They're very low context cultures. Now, how can you communicate effectively throughout different cultures? By that, I mean, how can your business be successful when doing international business? Learning about other cultures is very important in the business world because you're not going to come in contact with the same people every day. You may all of a sudden come in contact with somebody from China or from Britain, and you may not know how to interact with them. So it's important to learn the basics, such as language, the way they dress, different slangs, and even just a few basic words. That can really help you communicate effectively throughout different cultures. I have some fun facts up here. In Britain, a jumper means a sweater, while in the US, it means someone who jumps. In Japan, people greet each other by bowing, which is a lot throughout other Asian countries. It's a sign of respect and trust. While in Germany, they shake hands. They don't like to be close to each other. They don't feel like they need to earn the trust. So just shaking hands is simply okay. While in Canada, it is normal to arrive fashionably late. While in the US, it's wrong. If you gotta be at work at 8 a.m. in the US, you're gotta be at work for 8 a.m. Being late can also result in losing your job. While in Canada, it's okay if you're a little late to the meeting. So if you're conducting business with someone in Canada and you notice they're a little bit behind, or maybe they're Skype meeting, that is normal for them. Now, why is this important? It is so important to learn about oral and nonverbal communication between countries because it can help you have a successful relationship with another culture. Learning if a country is high or low context can give you a lot of information because a lot of the high context and a lot of the low context cultures share the same characteristics. And the more knowledge you have, the better off you're going to be. In high context culture, they prefer nonverbal communication and they prefer to be close-knit. They prefer to work in a group. They like to share things, even personal things, because their way of earning trust is through, communicating like your family and being close friends. While in a low context culture, people prefer oral communication and prefer everything to be very serious, very precise, only the facts, let's get business done. It is very important to learn about the different types of communication because certain cultures prefer other things. And if you don't learn about them, that could seriously hurt a business connection. Oral and nonverbal communication is your outlet to successful business. Thank you and have a great day.